Hey everybody, Swandzz here, or Sarah, or Pint-Sized Palace, here today to make a video. Hi. So today was a big cleaning day for me. I've got some coffee. Cleaned the whole house. That's mine to clean anyway. I dyed my hair, as you can see, and I put it up in a very loose ponytail. The reason why I dyed it black is I was just tired of the upkeep at the current moment of doing colors, and I do this every once in a while. Like if you look back through my videos, you'll see me with all these crazy hair colors, and then it'll be like 4 months of like brown hair or like black hair or blonde hair or just a natural hair color that requires like no upkeep from me. And the reason for that is literally just I get tired of re-dyeing it, and also I dye my hair so many colors that like it gets to the point where I'm like, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what color I want to dye my hair. I'm so uninspired. So it'll be black for a while. And then also maybe it'll grow out a little bit. Probably not. So in this video, I want to share with you guys a project I'm working on. If you're on my Instagram, then you'll already know that I've begun this project. But if not, here it is. I am starting a new BJD, and the reason for this is because I have learned a lot more about sculpting than I knew to begin with. One thing that really sucks about this hobby, and y'all can commiserate with me in the comments, people don't like to share their secrets. It's a very secretive thing where people are like, well, I had to learn the hard way, so do you, kind of thing. So there really is not much information about sculpting a BJD out there, and the information that is there, it's just like bits and pieces. You don't get like a full picture of the whole project. And it wasn't until Summerbird BJD, the girl who made Viola, I believe is the name of the doll, she put a video on YouTube where she explains pretty clearly, for the most part, everything that she did. And I saw you know, a few key differences between the way that she did it and the way that I was trying to do it without any information. And one of the main things is, I sort of already knew this, but I was trying to sculpt the doll all in separate pieces, which makes it a lot harder to get everything to be flush. So it's the correct way to do it, I guess, is to sculpt it in as many whole pieces as possible. There have been some people I found on Instagram who sculpt the entire doll from one piece. I tried that to begin with, but it wasn't working right for me, so I did the torso, like the chest and stomach in one piece, the legs all in one piece, and the arms all in one piece. So as many whole pieces as possible. So I'm gonna show you guys my blueprint here. So this is a 1-to-1 scale blueprint. And also, I did not make a blueprint last time. Well, I made a draft. Like I drew out my ideas for like the joints and everything, but it wasn't a 1-to-1 blueprint. And this is actually extremely helpful because it keeps you on track, so to speak, and then I can, you know, lay my pieces up against this and see how they are comparing. And I've also drafted all of the joints, and so I kept in mind some of the stuff that I learned last time from Sculpting Adventures. When you cast a doll, it loses a lot of its definition. So I'm, you know, working on over pronouncing all of my edges and things. So you want to make things just sharper than you want them to be. So like if let's say I want her to have like really visible ribs, then I need to make them way more visible than they actually should be, so that when she's finally cast, they'll still be visible. Like when I did Nima's head, her face ended up being pretty washed out, pretty rounded out, because all of her features dulled out a little bit from the casting process, and I noticed that from the original versus the casts of her. So it's just things like little details you want to overcompensate for a little bit. So this is my draft so far, and I have started. And so basically the first step was to create a core for the doll to sculpt around, and I did that using floral foam. So you can get that from most craft stores, and Walmart has it pretty cheap. So I used basically a knife and carved out a core for the arms and the legs and the torso. And here's the torso so far. So this is, like, I say this all the time with like works in progress, but it's very rough. It's not what it's going to look like. I guess it's similar to what it's going to look like, but she's going to have more layers of clay on top of this, but I'm working in layers so that the layers in between have time to cure. This is Polyform brand air dry paper clay, which is what I've been using so far on her. And yeah, so these two pieces will be cut apart when I'm done. So the next step is I'm going to continue covering this in paper clay until I get the exact shape and everything that I want. Then I can start like sanding it and like smoothing it up. And then I'm going to cut her open and take out the core in the middle. And then I will make sure the insides are smooth and finished, and probably apply a layer of clay to the insides if it's uneven in some places or something. And then at that point I can work out, I can start working out like unevenness, like right here, this side goes up a little further than the other. Actually, I could probably start trying to carve that out now, or I could add more to this side. Anyway, I can start working on the unevenness, the inconsistencies, and then once she is all hollowed out and the insides are smooth, basically stick her back together with some some like really wet, sticky paper clay, stick her back together, and I guess that's when I would start to cut her joints out. And then after that, I will probably do a final layer of epoxy sculpt, not very thin, but pretty thin all the way around her, to give her a protective finish so that she won't be destroyed during the casting and molding process. So far, these are her legs. Am I holding the right leg? No, this leg goes over here. So I'm following my blueprint. I'm trying to, hard to see what I'm doing. But so those are her legs. She has floating thigh joints, and forgive me, right now they look like a butt plug. I'm sorry, this is what shape they are. So this end is gonna go down in here, and then the other side is gonna go in there, and it's gonna be like this. So that's that. I'm sorry that is just a horrible shape, but that's what shape it is. So those are her legs, and then her arms similarly are just in one piece that I am still working on. But so yeah, this is only, I think I've been working on this for about 2 days, so it's definitely not like this is only 2 days into the sculpting, but I can already see a lot more how it's gonna look in the end, and it is already a lot more flush because I'm sculpting things in, you know, as big of pieces as possible, and on top of that I have my blueprint to try and keep me on track. So I've run out of paper clay. I've already used 2 packages to do all of this, and actually I started working on her head as well because she will have a different head sculpt. So this is how, try to show you guys the shape of the legs. This is how the legs go. Obviously I haven't started on her feet or her hands yet, but I'll do that when I get to further along. And that's you can see the floral foam core in there. Definitely probably made that too thick. However, like I'll have to go back inside of it and make that thicker, I think. But as you can see in the blueprint, her thighs are huge, which they're even bigger than I think this is. So I can probably afford to make the outside of this a little thicker as well, before I make the inside thicker too. But yeah, the last thing I'll show you guys. I'm actually really liking how this is coming out. It's like I said, it's very rough, but it is going off of, you know, what I learned last time and what I'm trying to improve on. And then I started sculpting a head for her. I don't know what her name is gonna be yet at all, but this is her so far. I was kind of going for like a sort of more grown-up looking Nima, or you know, a more mature looking Nima, I guess, and I did make her a little sad, which, I mean, I just thought that would be cute. And Nima was very happy, so it's very different. Try to see if you can. And this was only like a few hours of sculpting, so there are definitely like uneven, like this side of the jaw needs to be evened up, and but I wanted to let this layer of paper clay cure so that I could start working on top of it. I think her nose is looking really cute, and her lips look really cute, so that's good. And I like her eye shape. They're not completely hollowed out yet. I started this on one of my other drafts of my Nima head, so I didn't have to completely start the head over from scratch, but I will show you her compared to the drawing. She's pretty close, like feature wise, I think, so far. But so I am super duper excited to be working on this. I'm probably going to see if I have like a little ball of paper clay. I'll probably add some more to the torso today or something, maybe. I need to, like, main thing I need to work on is like sculpting out the unevenness and stuff. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on, and I definitely plan on finishing this. I know that I planned on finishing the other body, but sometimes it's really important to admit your defeat and start over. And it's not that like I couldn't have done it, it's just that I didn't do it right to begin with, and so it was making it a lot harder for me to, I was spending a lot of unnecessary time on things like trying to make like the arms fit flush together, whereas if I would have sculpted them from one piece to begin with, they just would, you know, they just would look correct together because they were cut from one piece. So there were things that I should have done from the beginning that I didn't do, which I am doing now. And she is getting a little doll vagina as well, so here you go, warning, doll vaginas. Yeah, rudimentary doll vagina. Hell yeah. That's what we all come here for. But yeah, so I mean, it's going pretty well for, it has only been about 2 days worth of work. And I'm about to wrap this video up because my camera's dying anyway, but one thing that really sucks about sharing works in progress, I love sharing works in progress because I like showing everything. I like showing the end result but I also like showing how we got to that point, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoy doing speed paints, because it's like you get to watch this really cool picture come to life, and it gives you more appreciation for the artwork when you see it being made. And also, I'm not a secretive person. I want other people to be able to do this, and it's hard to do it when you don't have accurate information or enough information. So I just want to be able to give as much of my information and my knowledge to other people as I possibly can. So I like sharing works in progress, but it sucks when you always get those certain comments that are like, that looks unfinished. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's not finished. like I'm sure I'll get comments on things that people don't like about this, or that they see that's wrong with it. And though to some extent I appreciate that, because it's good to have other people's, you know, eyes, fresh eyes to look at a project. That's good. However, this is like, what, 10% finished? Like, if you take like a finished doll, this is literally so far from being finished. It's literally been like 2 days worth of sculpting, and not like 2 full days. Like, I worked on it for 5 hours this day, and maybe I worked on it for 6 hours the next day. So it's not like it's been a lot of work put into it. So please just keep that in mind when you are giving your criticism of it, because I know it's very easy to see flaws in things. I mean, I see plenty of flaws in it. And that's another thing. I don't share my works in progress because I'm like, I'm a fucking genius, bitch. Look what I did, bitch. It's because I want to share everything. I want to show you guys the whole process, because it makes the finished product that much more impactful. It's like, wow, look at how horrible that was. Look at how great it turned out to be. I guess it's presumptuous that it might turn out great, but I mean, I have faith. I've got faith in myself. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will definitely keep you updated on this sculpting process. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Okay, you can click all of my little buttons. You can click my subscribe circle or the video or playlist that is listed below. You will also see a link down there to my Patreon, where you can choose to support me if you want to help me keep making these videos. There's lots of awesome perks to look forward to. I've recently changed the $25 perk to include clothing goodies sewn by moi. So if you're interested in that, give it a look. Love you guys. Bye!